Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a dynamite background for this website. We could do this a number of different ways. I kind of like these gradients, and since we already have his logo right here, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse these colors around, and I'm going to get that blue, and then I already have the black. So I'm going to go back to my Untitled, and I'm going to click here. I'm going to use my gradient tool and see how I got that blue to black right there. I'm going to see how that looks. Now I'm going to stretch it out right here. Just look at these different angles and how I can make something work with this. The background is pretty cool to do with gradients, but what we got to do is make sure that it's going to appeal to the clientele. I've also went to the Google search engine and found several different images that would go in here, but we want to make this personal to this particular business. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the header again. I'm going to go ahead and lock all of these other things. I'm going to reveal them all and then lock them up, so I know that I'm not going to be editing over top of them. I'll go ahead and unlock that header and open it up there, and I'm going to bring in the logo. So the way I bring in the logo is I'm going to highlight this layer. I'm going to hold my control button down and click the layers that I want to bring in here. So I'm going to bring this in just like this, hover over top, and now I'm able to manipulate this image the way I want to. And you'll notice it's in the header folder. So let me go ahead and try to see where I can put this logo. You know, I'm kind of like tempted with the idea of putting like fire behind it or something. I don't know why. I just want to light that record on fire. But we're going to place it there. Now you notice the rough edges. Watch after I place it. It's going to ask me to apply the transformation. I'm going to apply it, and so now the rough edges become smoother. Now what we got to do is we got to brighten this up a little bit. I'm really not liking that the dark so much, but maybe whenever I get my content pages I can put them in white. Okay, let me decide what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. Okay, so a couple things that I did is I lightened up this the music notes. I made the logo a little bit smaller, and what I'm going to do also is on this DJ, I'm going to take off the bevel and emboss so DJHH stands out a little bit. It looks okay when it's in the logo, you know, DJHH, possibly in print, but whenever it's on the site, it needs to stand out a little bit better. Okay, the other thing that I did is I went to Google and I found a really cool picture of fire. I told you I wanted to light that record on fire. Well, that's the image that I'm going to use. So I'm going to take this image, I'm going to drag it, I'm going to drop it onto my canvas here, and make sure that it's in my right layer, and it's in my header layer. Now see how it's all pixelated? As soon as I click this little thing there and place the file, that'll all disappear. Now I got to do some work on this because I want the record to look like almost like it's on fire. Okay, so I'm going to come here, I'm going to shrink that down, almost get it the same height as that record. Okay, so I'm going to bring it over on the record there. I'm going to shrink that fire down, maybe pull it over a little bit like that, so it looks pretty cool. I'm going to place that transformation. Okay, now I can mess around with this a little bit. I'm going to drag this down here, and I got to get rid of all the black in the background there, so you know, just make it look decent. I'm going to try to use my magic wand tool. I'm going to go in there, and maybe I'll expand this just a little bit. I'm going to grow it just a little bit, make sure that I get all of it, and then I'm going to. Okay, well, I have to resaturize the layer, so I right-click, resaturize the layer, and then click delete. Okay. Alright, so now let's see what it looks like. Alright, so not bad. I'm going to enlarge it just a little bit more. Make it look like the record's on fire, that blue fire. Okay. Alright, so I want to bring that fire to life, so I'm going to go up here to my image, adjustments, hue and saturation, and I'm going to maybe lighten that just a tad. Bring my saturation in there, saturate the hell out of that image. Let's see what it looked like in different colors here. Well, that looks really cool. Alright, I'm going to click OK. And let me go to my effects. I'm going to double click this. See my effects coming up here? I'm going to add a drop shadow to that and see what we could do with this drop shadow here. maybe instead of using that black, I'll use, you know, maybe something lighter or within the picture there. Let me see, maybe the color of black that the record is. Alright. Maybe a little bit of outer glow, maybe not. Okay, let's go ahead and click this outer glow. And I kind of like the blue color. Okay, there we go. Click OK. Now the other thing that I can do in Photoshop, which is really cool, is liquefy this. I'm going to go up here to liquefy. Liquefy that son of a gun. Okay. So here's my expand tool. Okay. Or my contract tool. I don't want to contract it, but I do want to expand it. Here's my expand tool. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my. Gives me goosebumps just watching it happen. Alright, I'm going to click. Let me shrink this window down so you can see what I'm seeing over here. Here's the size of the brushes. Let me get all of this in the window so you can see it. So here's my size of the brushes. This is my contract if I wanted to contract the image. And what I was using is expander. Sorry about that. I didn't realize you weren't able to see it. And then this is my smudge tool. Like I could go here. I could smudge these little things out here. Maybe I want to smudge it a little bit. A little bit of smudge, yeah. Oh yeah. Get that smudging going on there. Just smudge. And then if I want to shrink that circle, you know where your curly brackets are on your keyboard? Well, the left bracket, just start hitting your left bracket. That'll shrink it, and the right bracket will grow it. So let me go over here, shrink it down a little bit, and maybe make these things a little bit pointier. Yeah, make it more like fire. Yeah. Kind of making that image our own. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Graphics is real fun to do. I love messing with graphics. Alright, I'm going to click OK and see what that looks like. Oh, that's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm going to click on this to see what it looks like without it. I think we got a great start to a mock-up here. I'm still not crazy about that background. That background is just really irritating the hell out of me. I'm thinking maybe it's that color. It looks okay maybe inside the logo, but I just don't like it at all. So try some other different colors here. Maybe grab that blue color that's in the fire. That's interesting. That's kind of going back to the way we are. You know what? What if we want total black? All right, let's go with total black. Click OK. And I'm going to go back to that fire again, and I'm going to give that an outer glow. The outer glow. I'm going to expand that a little bit more. Maybe make it a spread size. Maybe not. More precise. Oh, no, that's just not giving me what I need. Maybe try a gradient. Go with my normal. Maybe take off some opacity, increase. Nah, I don't want any noise in there. Spread. Take the size down just a little hair. Alright, let me see here. That's what the satin looks like, not bad. Well, that inner glow. Maybe if we change that color of the inner glow, let's see what white looks like on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the color for white. Maybe another shade of blue. I don't know, that kind of looks cool. Alright. What's my drop shadow here? Normal. Spread. Let's see here. I think we can do better than that now. Maybe another blue offset. Just trying to increase the distance and the size and the spread. Just to see what the hell it's doing here. I don't know, maybe if we get the right color in there, maybe we have something. So I like to stay within my color boundaries. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. Alright, so you see what it takes. Just a little bit of finesse, ingenuity, and an imagination, and you can make a really, really cool picture. Alright, I'm kind of thinking that the record here kind of needs to be frazzled, like into the fire. And so if I click on this layer, and actually you can name these layers by double clicking them. Okay. R-E-C-O-R-D. Okay. When I'm in a creative stage, I just can't spell, so forgive me. Let's see here. The record. What are we going to do this record? Let's go to filter. Let's go to stylize and wind. Alright, now what I'm going to do here, let me show you. Let me zoom out so I can see where the hell this record is. Alright, zoom in a little bit. This is what it's doing to the record, okay? You can blast it, and you can make that directions from the left and from the right. Let's just go ahead and see what that looks like. Very, very interesting. Let me see here. If I hit Control Z, it'll take that effect off, and I hit Control Z again, and it'll put it back on. So, it just might work if... No, it's not going to work. I like it better like that. So, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so what we got here is, I went ahead and I put this little text in here. A party they won't forget. You see, one of the things about creating a mock-up is you have to think from your client's perspective. You see, you don't think at it from just your client's perspective, but what would their clients like? And one of the things about hiring a DJ is you want your people there to have a party that they will not forget, an experience that they won't forget. So that's why I come up with that slogan, a party they won't forget. Now that could all change in the future, but I think it's good for this mock-up. The other thing that I like is a little smiley face, a little happy. Gonna be happy. So I kind of like that. Now the thing that I'd like to do is maybe change this little happy face to maybe that blue color, but I want to keep the tongue red. See, I could go up here to image and go to adjustments and hue and saturation and probably get the color that I want, but you notice how the tongue changes? I don't want to change the tongue, I want to keep it red. So what I'm going to do is hold my Alt button in, I'm going to zoom in on this little happy face, right? And I'm going to go over like this here. And what I'm going to do is grab that tongue and with my quick selection tool, and I'm going to right click and select inverse. Okay, now I'll be able to come up here to image, adjustments, hue and saturation, and hopefully what I can do is change all the colors except that tongue color. You see what I'm saying? Alright, so I don't know. I think pink's a happy color, but that's too close to red. So I'm trying for that blue. Let me see. Let me go with this blue there. Let's saturate the hell out of it. Darken it up a little bit there. Click OK. Now I'm going to hit, scroll out with my mouse by hitting my alternate key down. And I'm almost there to where I want to be. Let me just go ahead and hit Control Z like that. And that'll highlight everything again. And I'll come back here up here to image and adjustments, hue and saturation. Maybe I'll change this little guy, maybe to match that fire a little bit better, okay? Alright, so now the other thing, his tongue. What are we going to do about his tongue? I think his tongue should be bigger, like Gene Simmons coming out of there. What do you think? So let's do this. Let's go back over to our selection tool, select inverse again. Now only the tongue is selected. Alright, so I'm going to hit Control X on my keyboard. Notice that cuts his tongue out, right? So I'm going to hit Control V. Now it pastes his tongue back in, but it's clear down here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so I can grab his tongue, or actually I can hold Shift down on my keyboard and put his tongue back in place, okay? But I definitely want his tongue to be a little bit bigger. In fact, I could actually go back online and get a really cool Gene Simmons tongue, which maybe that's what I should do. So I'm going to go to my Google search and put tongue, maybe like a Gene, T-O-U-N-G, whatever, G-U-E, whatever. Alright, here we go. Go to images, and I don't know, I kind of like the Gene Simmons tongue. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Or even that, or the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones had a really cool picture of a tongue. Let me do Rolling Stones. Tolling Stones. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm looking for something that's going to be straight on, because it's all about the angle there, right? So I need that tongue to come straight down there. So I'm looking for a good angle on that tongue, and I'm just not finding everything to the side. I want something that's straight on. Maybe had better luck with the Gene Simmons tongue. Oh, hold on. Yeah, like right there. Okay. Ooh, what a scary creature. Oh, look at this. This one's nice and pink, eh? But the bottom of the tongue's getting cut off. But if I go to the website, I can see it a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, what I did with the rest of them. I'm going to drag and drop this, and then that'll give me the information that I need to start compiling this tongue together. So I'm going to just drag and drop, and here I have old Genie Boy in there, and what I'm going to do is place that image. We'll place it there, get rid of the pixelation, and I just don't need Gene Simmons in there. Let's resaturize that layer, and I'm going to use my bracket key to the left and just get rid of all this nonsense. Okay, hold on. Oops. Don't want to get rid of the tongue, though. Alright. Make that a little bit lower. Make sure I get rid of all that background, because that comes back to biting the ass if you don't take your time and get it done the way it needs to be done. Alright, so I'm getting here pretty close. Alright. We can make it look more animated too. Let's see here. Alright. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's see here. Let's get that tongue in there. Turn it slightly, huh? Just go in there. Hit apply. Want to make it memorable? You're gonna do it. Okay, here we go. Let me get that eraser back out. Put him in there. Maybe shrink him in there a little bit. Apply the transformation. Alright, so let's go here and go to this image and go back to the hue and saturation, maybe. Man, that's looking gross. Alright, let's see here. Let's saturate, darken. I think we got to do something with those edges. What do you think? So let's go. Let's grab this. Grab these edges. Here with this quick selection tool, we can. If you hold your alternate button down, that'll minus the selection. If you leave it normal, it'll add to the selection. And alright, so let me go up here to refine edge, because I definitely want a better, smoother image than what we got there. Gee, I never thought I'd be doing this with Gene Simmons' tongue. Just never thought. I guess there's a lot of people that have been doing stuff with Gene Simmons' tongue that they thought they would never do either. Okay, so let me go. Delete. Alright, so now we have a better, rounder tongue. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to that eraser tool. And where happy is, I'm going to move that tongue over just a little bit because I want to get his smiley face in there. And let's see, boom. There we go. Alright, Gene Simmons. Hope he's proud. It'll be the front of the DJ website. Yes, that is Gene Simmons' tongue, people. You want a party you won't forget? Let's just stick your tongue out. What do you think? Maybe the tongue is just a little bit too big. Shorten it up there a little bit. Big, fat, thick tongue. Maybe what could do is take it up into the smile a pixel or two and zoom in on that again. Alright. Zoom in on that there little tongue and put the tongue to the top of the thing and then grab my eraser tool and then come down there. So we cut into the tongue a little bit. There we go. What do you think of that? Huh? Not bad. Not bad. A party they won't forget. Okay, that's what we want. A party they won't forget. Alright, let me think about what I'm going to do next. Okay, the next thing that I need to do is I need to create some separation. This is going to be like the header. There might be a menu item up here so people can easily navigate. But instead of just having that straight bar there all the time, I wanted to do something different. I think that a woman laying on her side with her hips sticking up is one of the sexiest things in the world. Whenever you think about DJing and stuff, you think about dancing and girls and stuff like that. And so what I wanted to do is get like a silhouette of a woman. Now I'm not going to tell you what I found online because it's just not suitable for young ears like yours to listen to. But okay, so here it is. This is a nice little picture of a couple dancing. I think it might go in well with this theme. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and place this here. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of that white background. So I'm going to use my quick magic wand tool and select all the black. Then I'm going to go up here to my refine edge tool so I could get a nice smooth radius on my edge. Feather it out a little bit contrast there. Yeah. I'm liking it. I am liking it. So I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to right click, select the inverse, and then just delete that background. I forgot to resaturize the layer, so I'll just come over here, right click, resaturize layer, delete. Alright. Now, this isn't going to make sense to you now because, you could hardly see it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to double click, and this outer glow right here. See that? Isn't that cool? Alright. Now, we could light these guys on fire if we want to, but I don't know. Use just pure white glow. Kind of like that pure white. Oh, that was kind of cool. What was that? I don't know. Let's just go with white. Alright. And I don't think we want to use any satin or color overlay or anything like that. We'll just leave it like that, because DJ is all about people out there dancing and stuff. And I have a couple other options that I could use too. Let me show you this one here. I could actually, that might work on the bottom of the website. So let me just hide this layer real quick and see what this thing is going to look like. Because we know it's all about the dancing and it's all about the ladies, right? When you're DJing. Okay, so here we go. Alright, now let me go ahead and do that same little trick that I did. Select all the black. Now notice I'm not getting a lot of the black there. That's because I need to increase my tolerance level. We'll try 88 and then reselect it again. I don't know. I'm going to try 100. Alright, so we're kind of getting there. Let me go to refine edge. Here's my smart radius. You might not be able to see it as well as I can because you're on a video there, but I can see what's going on here. And I don't want to feather that much, but I do want a smooth edge. And click OK. Now I'm going to right click, select inverse. I need to resaturize this layer. So let me go ahead and resaturize it. And I'll delete that entire background. Okay. So, a party they won't forget. I think this kind of matches it a little bit better about what's going on there, right? Do we make them bigger and fatter, or do we make them thinner? I don't know. Let's just put it down here like this. And let me place it there. So I'm going to apply the transformation. So. And then go with our outer glow. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. But I like the white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. White. And we can actually spread it out if we want. Get a little bit of glow there. Yeah. I like it. Alright, so. Now see, the thing that we got to think about here is where we got to put the content. I mean, we definitely need somebody to be able to, post stuff on here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to double click this layer and see this opacity. I'm going to just like put that into the background so you can almost barely see it. Alright, now all of this actually needs to be in the body. So what I'm going to do is, you notice we're working in the header. So I want to unlock the body, and I want to view that folder, open it up, and I'm going to take this image, right? I'm going to go up here, wiggle around until I can get into the body. And so now it's in the body folder. Okay, so if we uncheck the body folder, you won't be able to see that. Okay, so everything in the header, that's everything in the header. Here's everything in the body, okay? So now we have the option of putting a sidebar in. Sidebars aren't necessarily all that important. It's nice whenever you want to, hey, we got a special here, a special there. So I'm going to just go ahead and program this particular one with the sidebar, but what we got to do is think about what we want to do with the sidebar. So let me think here for a couple minutes how we're going to organize and manage all this. Okay guys, here we go. This is what I sent to the client, and he's pretty happy with it. And what we're going to do is see all these buttons here. When people click on the tabs, it's going to slide out and it'll have the information, book a show, about us, contact us, and terms of service, and then more information that will pop up into a window. And possibly what I'll have here is like a marquee or scrolling text that will dynamically generate based upon the shows coming up, and I'll program that in the back end of his website. So they'll be popping up here, when his next couple of shows are, maybe 2 or 3 shows. But this is what the client likes, so this is what we're going to program in HTML. What I did was I grabbed a picture of him off of his Facebook, and I went in there and I just kind of like enhanced the picture, did a little drawing. He's kind of a fun guy to hang out with. He's a lot of laughs and everything like that, so this kind of reflects his personality. And once you're around this guy or go to one of his parties, it's definitely a party that you're not going to forget. So this is DJ Double H, and what we want to do now is we're going to take this mock-up and we're going to turn it into a full dynamic website. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So that'll be the end of this tutorial on creating the mock-up. Of course, it's taken several hours to do, but I didn't think that you wanted to sit here and watch me. Hopefully that you got the idea that you have these different layers, and you have things in these different layers that you can see and work with. And as we continue to work on the website, we have this as our foundation to build upon. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and I hope you guys like it. I hope you learned something.